What you got going on, man?
This?
What's this garb you have on? It's not even a garb. What's this called?
This is a traditional Gulf Khalij. When you say Khalij in the word Arabic, the term Khalij in Arabic means the Gulf, right? So this is the Gulf and the people of the Levant. They typically wear this headdress.
Okay.
You know, Moroccans less so. They have their own, you know, the people of the Maghreb, the area of the Maghreb, typically they have their own look.
That's like a Gulf area.
The Gulf is a different place.
Okay.
See, people don't, you know, if you don't really know, then you don't really, if you don't have a friend or you're not knowledgeable about the Middle East, you think that they're a cohesive people. They're actually not.
It's very diverse, I'm sure.
It's a very diverse place.
Yeah.
You seen the one guy that we met in Philly once? He looked like Phil.
Which one?
The one that owns the hookah spot.
Oh, yeah.
He looks like Phil.
He spoke French.
Yeah,
He's
but he's light. His eyes are light. Like his whole, like all the features are different.
So true.
So, my father is from Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a traditional Iraqi headdress.
That's nice.
You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I need to rep my people a little bit more.
Right. And does anyone over in Iraq wear that, or
They
certain
wear it all
people?
the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not like certain class people or nothing like that.
The colors signify what part of the Middle East you're from. The patterns on the headdress signify what you know, where you're from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's really cool.
There's a black and white one. There's a red and white one.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
But it also keeps them cool and like the heat and all that.
Absolutely. It's like a hat.
Yeah.
It's literally a hat that it's a traditional Gulf hat.
How far back, like what year did it not originate, but I'm sure it's been centuries, right?
Yeah, I don't know the exact year.
It's been a long time.
But I know it's cultural.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like men dress in traditional garb in the Middle East, in the Emirates.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you would see somebody wearing a suit, a suit, right, and tie. This would be their suit and tie.
Gotcha.
You know, it signifies your connection to that area.
Yeah.
You know?
It looks good on you, man.
Thank you,
Very
man.
fitting.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I saw something like that, you know, like people that may know, like I'm really into cars, so I'll be on YouTube and Dubai. You already know they got some hot stuff out there.
Middle East is crazy. Wait until we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take Phil.
It's gonna be a good
And
time.
we're gonna rock out.
1,200 horsepower cars, bro. They have the headdress on.
Place.
Out of there.
Yeah. People you know, in the last, you know, there's a lot of politics, so that some people have a misunderstanding of the area.
Yeah. Misconception.
A lot of misconceptions.
Yeah.
But I think when you know the area, and when you know the people of the area, it's hard to dislike somebody you don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to dislike somebody you don't know. It's difficult to dislike somebody if you don't have a personal relationship with them.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
If you're just seeing headlines in the news and stuff like that.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you have a friend, it creates a conflict within you.
Right.
Where you have to deduce and think and say, what am I to believe here?
Right.
And if you're an intelligent person, you use logic.
Yeah.
If you're not an intelligent person, you're never gonna like, you're gonna hate no matter what.
Yeah.
So
it's important to kind of see for yourself type of thing, right? Because if you go out there, like the hospitality is different from what I hear.
Middle East?
Yeah.
Nothing like it.
Yeah.
Nah. Middle Eastern people are known for generosity. Your name in Arabic means generosity. Your name is Kareem.
Yeah.
So your name is literally generosity.
And I've been told it's pretty fitting too.
Yeah, it is. Your parents named you right.
Hell yeah.
So that's something to think about.
Yeah.
Generosity in the Middle East is a sign of it's a sign of stature and status.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah. So like, for example, in the United States, if you want to say somebody's hungry, you think that's a positive thing. But in the Middle East, if you say hada jo'an, this person is hungry. It means this person is he's not one with means to give. It's
do people pity that? It's like he's hungry, so we feel pity for him.
No, it's not that. It's not a poverty issue.
Okay.
It's a personality thing. They're not saying that somebody that's hungry. Nah. What they're really saying is we value generosity.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's amazing.
Like being invited, like when I was in Morocco, you know, we got the team out there. So when I was in Morocco, I was walking in the streets.
I want you to speak on the team as well, too.
So in Morocco, if you're walking, like I would go to the markets. I'm a retailer at heart.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoy business. I enjoy trade. I enjoy buying and
Do
selling.
they call it the bazaar over there?
It is a bazaar. It's Jama al-Fna.
Okay, bazaar
Yeah.
is like a type of marketplace.
There's a few markets out there, but the one in Marrakesh that's well known is Jama al-Fna.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would go there and I would just meet people.
Mm-hmm.
And you would meet random people, incredibly generous.
Wow.
I had one guy, I didn't know him. I started speaking to him and he invited me for tea, invited me to his house. And it wasn't like a faux invite. Like, oh, one day you can come. He was like,
Right
tonight,
now. Oh, wow.
tonight and I'm cooking dinner for you. Yeah. I want to know you. I want to meet you. Come have dinner.
What initiate, like you walking on the marketplace,
It's energy, brother. It's energy.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, listen, man, people react to energy.
Yeah.
If we live in a society where,
Closed off.
I mean, come on, look around. People have their own misconceptions.
Right.
So people are so closed off.
Right.
So when you move with energy, people feel that.
Yeah.
And when you move with negative energy, people feel that.
That's true.
You know, I guarantee that if you listen to yourself, you would know what was going to happen in a meeting before it happened, just by walking in the room. Like I could walk into a room.
It's like intuition.
There's energy in every room.
Yeah.
Sometimes I walk into a room and I know for a fact I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
Like I walk into the room, I know already just by walking in, this ain't gonna go anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What business
I
is
still
like?
go through the motions. I give the person the benefit of the doubt, I give the team the benefit of the doubt, but I can already tell. Like,
do you feel like, because you've been in business for decades now, do you see your patience for that benefit of the doubt getting shorter and shorter? Like it's like a limited amount? Because you never want to, you never prejudge people, but you understand business. Like you've been in certain negotiations, you know where it's going.
So initially, I would give people a lot more time.
Right.
As things, there's been some propellants.
Okay.
That have yeah, that have given me, that have shortened my patience level for certain situations, and I feel I've always known to like just tell people what my truth was,
right,
and let them tell me what they
kind of react to that.
But sometimes I would put a filter on it because we were conditioned in the Western way of doing business. You know, don't offend. You know, we're made out of glass. Yeah. If you say the wrong word, somebody may crack. And I think that is an incredible waste of time.
That's a good point.
It is. I think the truth is what matters.
I find myself very considerate in business sense sometimes, a little bit too much, and then you're just kind of wasting time if it leads to nothing. Yeah.
You're wasting their time and your time, and how much time do you really want to waste? Right. So if you don't have a lot of time to waste, then your patience is less.
Because we're here to get to the money, man.
Absolutely.
It's not a hobby.
Absolutely. And you don't want to mislead, and you don't want to be misled.
Right. Yeah. That's so true.
So with that being said, you want to do the introduction, or I'll do the introduction?
Episode 3, man. Right, time is flying right now.
Let's do it.
The Hustleman Show.
Yo, man, I'm having fun. Yeah. I'm going to keep it real with you. This is the most fun that I've had doing this ever.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I'm happy to have you.
Because you shot content before this, but your different businesses with Phil behind the camera.
We are a process-based team. Okay. Like, we understand the production of things. Like, that is, if you really define our organization, it's understanding what the bottlenecks are and understanding what the production of things, right, be it promotional products, homes, or content. Yeah. We just understand step 1, 2, 3, you know what I mean? Yeah. How to get it produced to a product. I like that. So we've had some experience doing content in the past. We had our own team. We shot everything internal. Our editors were internal. Everything was internal, in-house. You know what I'm saying? If we needed to do something with an external person, it would need to be done because that person had an exceptional level of talent. Yeah. So we would bring in like an outside consultant. Yeah. To do something that we felt, we needed an elevated level of production that maybe our team was not there yet.
Right.
But generally speaking, it's an in-house thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that's good stuff. Yeah, we could dive into so many different things.
We could go down a rabbit hole. For real.
But yeah, man, that was episode 3 of the Hustleman Show. My partner, Mohammed. Dude, you've been in business for decades. You're currently running multiple businesses right now. You just came out of what, like 9 fix and flips at the same time, simultaneously, dealing with the lenders, contractors bowing out. Man, I saw this guy, what was it, like December, January? Yeah. And then we like linked up like once a week. My man beard was growing out. He's like, bro.
Viking mode activated. Viking mode activated.
He said, Reem, I'm going to war right now. Yeah. So I knew it, bro.
You'll know when I'm going to war.
Yeah.
When I'm going to war, you know what I'm saying? We need to be careful how many times we say that with the, you know, with the Habibi on. You know what I'm saying?
Camo pants.
Yeah, hell yeah. but when I'm locked in, I got tunnel vision, man. I don't really allow distractions. Yeah. And I don't really care about things. I just don't. You know what I mean?
Care about winning.
I care about the end result.
Right.
So when I'm locked in, you can't distract me with things.
Yeah.
Cause they don't really matter to me.
Yeah.
Like you know.
Cars, watches, Instagram likes, none of that, bro.
I like things like everybody else, but it ain't.
It's not your focus, though.
Bro, I drove an NV200 for years.
We need to put
you know what I'm saying? I pull up like I'm gonna fix your cable. You know what I mean? Like I don't really give a shit.
Right.
I could have it, not have it, ain't gonna matter. You know, like it ain't really gonna matter to me. Yeah. Honestly, and for the people that know me, they know that.
Right.
So, but go ahead, I interrupted you.
No, you're good, man. So you're out here crushing it, and here we are to speak on it, man. So I'm with my brother Mohammed. Besides doing his 9 flips that he just came out of, he's also a buy and hold investor in Southern New Jersey. We're now holding doors in Ohio too, man. So fix and flips, buy and holds, wholesale. I met him at the beginning of his wholesale career, and my man is like just sending me checks every other month, 30K, 40K, 80K. You would just think he's only focused on real estate because you have wholesale, flips, and holds. Now, my man has businesses down at the shore, retail, selling hats, shoes, custom jerseys, working with Mitchell & Ness. Mitchell & Ness is based out of Philly, and my man's partnered with them, making specialized custom jerseys. I don't even know how you can do that. So he's really turning it up, man. You guys definitely need to be tapping it with Mo. Anything I'm missing? I feel like I'm missing something.
You're missing a lot, brother, but I'm gonna let you keep going.
My bad, dude.
All good. I'm gonna just let you keep going. Go ahead, keep going.
But so besides that, so we got the retail space.
Yes.
You got a call center in Morocco.
Tell them.
You turning that thing up. So a lot of people like, hey, I have an assistant, overseas. Nothing wrong with that at all. He's like, I'm flying to Africa. That's where I'm from. I'm putting the money back to my people. He now has a call center running Monday through Saturday?
African, not African. Tell him.
African, running every day of the week. Cold calling sellers in America, lining them up, whether it's going to be for a wholesale, buy and hold, fix and flip. But every day, he built up a whole call center. Like, he's just moving completely different. Yes. And he's not just doing it for any reason. We're seeing immense amount of results. I remember one time we had an influx of deals coming in. My man, I got shut the valve down a little bit. We're getting a little bit too many leads right now. And a lot of people saying like, oh, it's so hard to lock up a deal. But man, with the call center he built up, man, he's absolutely crushing it. And without marketing and without leads in the business, that's the oxygen life of a business. And you really nailed it with that, bro.
Man,
I'm learning a lot from you.
I couldn't have asked for a better intro.
Okay.
All right. And I'm here with the one, the only, the generous. The generous.
The generous, I like that.
You are. Your name means that. And for me, when I think of you, that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you can give anybody a better compliment than that. Yeah. Generous means to give. You give with your heart and you give with your mind. And I respect you for that incredibly. And I want you to know that. This man, I met a year ago. He opened up his mind. He wasn't a gatekeeper. You know what I'm saying? He didn't allow fear or ignorance or a lack of experience to dictate his life. He didn't work with emotion, he thought. And because of that, we were able to do a lot of things in the last year that I'm really proud of with him. So this is the one and only Kareem, my brother from a different mother.
Salute, brother.
All right? Absolutely. I got one other person to intro, man. There's another person in the room. Oh, yeah. It would be rude not to intro him. Absolutely. We're also here with our other brother, our Hebrew brother from a different mother. All right, we're here with Phil. And if you're looking at all this production work and you're wondering how the back end of this works, just know, this man, he really puts in the time and effort, and we need to respect and appreciate that.
1000%.
So we're also here with our brother Phil. I got my brother Kareem here, and we're going to have beautiful conversations.
Brotherhood's important, man.
Absolutely. There's not enough about brotherhood. Let's take a step back. The meaning of the word Philadelphia is a Greek word for the city of brotherly love.
Right.
You understand? I don't really think that people really understand what that is. When you want for your brother like you want for yourself, that's true brotherhood.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want success for you, brother.
Just as much
Unlimited.
Yeah.
I want success for you, and I want success for my brother Phil, and I want success for all my other brothers.
Because with God's grace, man,
everything is possible.
Blessings are infinite, bro.
Amen. There's no limit. The world is abundant. It's an abundant world.
Period.
There's no limit.
Yeah.
So if we're living in an abundant world with no limit, the only limitation, only constraint is us.
Yes.
So if the only constraint is us, why are we sitting here constraining each other and ourselves?
No way.
So, yeah, I hope that intro was as good as yours.
No, absolutely. And I'm gonna hone on that, right? Like that sounds good, right? Like constraining ourselves, but man, like how many partnerships have you seen go south?
A lot.
Because of constraints, right?
Well, if you talk to somebody about partnerships in business, the first thing they tell you is what?
How much?
I had a bad experience.
Yeah.
Well, question: did you want for that person like you wanted for yourself? If you get a nice car, do you want that for your brother?
I do.
Absolutely. I got a truck the other day, right?
Yeah. What kind of truck?
I got a nice truck. Follow the content. If you confused, just know. Follow the content.
Absolutely.
I got a nice truck. The first thing I thought, I kid you not. First I thought, man, what a blessing this is. Second thing is, I thought, when is Phil getting his?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
This is the difference between somebody you really, you fucking with this person and not. You want for your brother. Your brother has to carry his load. They have to carry.
Right.
But you want for them. And if you don't want for them, they know.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's a good point.
This is why a lot of partnerships fail. This is a me mentality.
Yeah.
My perspective is simple. That money printer ain't stopping. So I could get one, you could get one, he could get one. Let's all get one. Shit, they're gonna look great together.
Yeah.
License plate's gonna be custom all over. Yeah. So in that case, why not?
Exactly.
If I have a house in a neighborhood, I want my neighbors to be people that I like and I care about, and I want them to do well. I don't want my neighbors to be
strangers and stuff like that. Yeah.
So when it comes to brotherhood, it should be something of thought, and I don't think we are organized that way as much as we used to be.
Mm-hmm. As a society.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not trained to look at each other as brothers.
Right.
We're trained to look at each other as competition and as enemies in some cases.
Yeah.
And we're not. We're brothers.
Yeah.
We're literally the children of Adam, all of us.
We're all flesh and blood.
We are if you think about it, there's Adam and Eve, and we are all the children of Adam and Eve. So therefore, we're all brothers.
Right.
So
we
should start acting that way. So with that being said, let's get into less deep politics. All right. We got topics this week that we want to go over. I was driving over and I was thinking, what would be a great way to help somebody that's watching this? You know what I'm saying? A new investor, somebody that's inexperienced, that's coming into real estate, that needs to understand how to just do a deal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's so important. So much power in just do your first deal.
The mechanics of a deal.
Get into the game, bro.
Yeah. So I wanna model this after that Biggie song. The 10 rock commandments. The 10 rock commandments.
Pull it up on Spotify.
All right. So yeah, we'll throw that in. All right. So let's go through what your process should be. Let's give you a recipe for taking down a property, be it a rental or a flip, right, or whatever the case may be. If you want to set that off.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when it comes to real estate, I love it so much because you get rewarded for your creativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no one way of skinning this cat.
No.
You can look at one deal so many different ways. So when you try to box it in, like, hey, I'll only buy with this certain percentage ARV to refinance at this number. Like, if you try to fit a deal into a mold, it probably won't fit. But think about creating multiple molds for that to fit in. So I say that to say, step number one, you got to source the deal, find the deal, right? Finding that deal, again, can be multiple ways. Do you want to kind of ring some off, or you want me to jump right into it?
Nah, you can go. Go ahead.
So when you're wholesaling real estate, man, that's the name of the game, acquisition of deals. If you are, look, bro, when I started wholesaling, I was maxed out credit cards. So I didn't have a whole lot of money to play with.
Yeah.
Quick and easy way, free way, is to pick up an app called Zillow. Download on your phone, pause the video right now, download Zillow. Boom, hop in there. Once you have it downloaded, you click onto the filters tab, one click over, it's called for sale by owner. What you're looking for is off-market properties that are listed. These are properties not listed by a real estate agent or a brokerage. There's a lot more complications involved with that. You want to be talking direct to seller. As a brand new wholesaler, or just for lucrative deals in general, you need to be direct to seller so you can negotiate the maximum profit for yourself and help that seller out. So you click on the for sale by owner, you'll see, let's just say like Atlanta, Georgia, right? You click in Atlanta, Georgia, for sale by owner, you'll have like a list, maybe at least 50 people. You got John Smith, 123 Main Street. He has to sell his property. All the hard work is already done. You have the address, you have the person's name, and you have their phone number. People spend thousands of dollars every month just to aggregate data, just to get that basic info. You have it right now for free in your hands. So get a Google Voice number. I don't recommend calling from your personal cell. Get a Google Voice number. It's completely free. You call up John. Hey, John, I see you have a property listed on 123 Main Street. You had it up for about a month now. Is this property still available? And then from there, man, don't focus on like, hey, I need a perfect script to be able to talk to people. Bro, like, we're all human. It's all that interaction. This is a very social-based business. So you just talk to them. Hey, I see you have a property for sale. What's going on? What even had you thinking about putting this property up for sale? What's going on? You want to pull out the pain point. Is he going through a divorce? Did he inherit the property? Are there tenants there that are not paying for the? There's a reason why he's selling it. There's a problem, and you need to identify and ask the right questions. We could get way deeper into that, but that's a quick free way right now. You could just lock up a deal, and you go find a buyer like in a couple weeks, close that thing 30 days or less, 5 figures. You know what I mean? Money that you probably never touched before. And this is not theory. Like, I've made money off of Zillow for sale by owner for free.
5 figures, even 4 figures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 4 figures.
It could change a lot of people's lives.
It could change your life. So 100%. Kareem the Dream just gave you an example of how a free way for you to source a deal. A lot of times when you're talking to people in a very tight market, a very competitive market, their number one objection is, oh, there's nothing available. There's always nothing available. Normally when somebody says there's nothing available, my response is you're not looking hard enough, right? So he just named Zillow's for sale by owner. Another way you can source a deal like relatively easy is just go on MLS and make offers. Just shoot your shot. A lot of people are like so afraid. Again, we live in a glass society. Yeah. I'm afraid I'm gonna crack you if I tell you a word that you don't like. Yeah. If you're not offending enough people every week, you're not doing a good enough job. You know what I'm saying? Go on MLS, contact the realtors, and make your offer. What's the worst that they can say? No, go to hell.
No, that's it.
Okay, wonderful. No problem. You know what I'm saying? If you make 10 offers a day, every day, for 30 days,
you're crushing it.
It'd be hard pressed for you not to get an offer if you're doing that kind of volume. So that's another way. Zillow's for sale by owner is one of them, because those are not MLS based listings. Right. MLS based listings also on Zillow, but for sale by everybody, right? Not just for sale by owner. Here's another way that's really, really underappreciated. Facebook Marketplace. Shout out to you for putting me on the Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace is a very, very interesting place to get a deal. Okay? You can meet very interesting people by just going on your local Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and just sourcing a deal that's off market from there. Sometimes you have wholesalers that are putting up their product for sale on these markets.
Yeah, like more times than not, for sure.
Yeah, so you can make a contact for the next X amount of years. Get yourself a good off market deal. That wholesaler may not have the funds or the capacity to take down the deal. They may have sat on it for a while. Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
You may be able to lock that down. So we're talking about for sale by owner. We're talking about on market listings. We're talking about Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist.
Yep.
Here's another way. Group meetups. You know what I'm saying? Like some of us, we don't go to meetups. Like, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm guilty. You know what I'm saying? Guilty as charged. I don't go to a lot of meetups, but I met you at a meetup.
Right.
Every meetup that I've ever been to has been fruitful.
Yeah.
So honestly, I should go to more meetups.
Yeah.
Because what I do at these meetups is I make contacts.
Yeah.
And you'll have somebody, not you, but other wholesalers that may have a deal that they don't know how to navigate.
Right.
They have a deal locked up, or they have sometimes they don't even have a deal.
Just a lead.
They have a lead.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do with that lead. So I'll step in and I'll navigate, I'll underwrite, and I'll navigate that lead, and I'll help them get it past the goal line.
Right.
I'll help them get that deal, I'll get them paid out, and sometimes I'll take that deal down or I'll resell it with them.
Right.
That's an incredible asset.
100%.
Yeah, so
100%.
so meetups, you know what I'm saying, are a huge asset. The right meetups,
Right.
I think some of these meetups are a waste of time. You want to go to a meetup that is going to be fruitful. There's huge groups, investor groups, in a lot of these markets. You learn, you make great friends when you go to the right ones.
You don't know until you go, though.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there.
Yeah. So in all honesty, I'd like to say that I probably should be going to more of those.
Yeah.
Personally. Okay.
Absolutely.
What are other ways that they can find a deal?
Big one, man. Just tell people what you do.
Yeah.
Kareem, what are you? I'm a real estate investor. Like, what does that mean? Well, I help out homeowners that might be in a distressed situation, sell their house quickly for cash. It's like, oh, really? My aunt, she just inherited this property on 123 Main Street, and she don't want to deal with tenants. Like,
Yeah.
you think it help? Like, do you guys buy an as-is condition? Like, oh, I'm glad you asked. I buy an as-is condition.
Yeah.
It's an organic lead that you're working with. You're helping solve a problem for a seller.
Yeah.
The way you get paid in this business, whether you're wholesaling or real estate investor, whatever the case may be, you want to find problems to solve. If the house was just fixed up by a seller, he wants top dollar.
There's no money in that.
Please list it with a realtor.
Yeah,
I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're looking for off-market as-is fixer-uppers, right?
I'd like to liken this to being the garbage men of real estate.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Yeah. What we do is we deal with the problematic properties. We find a way to navigate problematic situations and extract our fee from that.
Yeah.
Now, that's on the wholesale side.
Right.
It's also on the investor side. We deal with problems, and once we resolve those problems, we typically get paid on that.
Yeah. If you're brand new, so let's just say you have some money to work with. Say you have good credit or you have a loan, and you wanted like, hey, I want my first buy and hold Section 8 property, right? You shouldn't only focus on one of these platforms. You should not only be calling people for sale by owner on Zillow. You should be on Craigslist, Marketplace, Zillow, showing up at meetups. You want to have your line casted in multiple lakes.
Absolutely.
That way you finally get that bite. It's all about exposure. And when you're first starting off, you usually have more time than what maybe later on down the road when you're actually doing flips and projects. So you got to utilize that time.
Absolutely.
It's very simple process, but it's not going to be simple or it's not going to be quick. It's not like, hey, I just shot an offer today, it got accepted today, and I'm under contract by the morning. It doesn't happen that quick.
Yeah.
So you have to delay that gratification, right? You have to lock in, understand like, hey, it's going to take some work, it's going to take some negotiations, but I'm telling you, it's worth your time.
I think a good rule of thumb, if you're getting into this and you're new, we're an instant gratification society. We want to Uber our meals. We want to Uber our cars. We want to Uber our relationships, right? In some cases. We want instant gratification. We want to press a button and listen to a song, any song we want. We are conditioned for instant gratification. If you are an investor, the investors that do the best are the ones that understand delayed gratification. So if you're getting into this and you're new, I think you should accept the fact simply that you will not make $1 and you will work your ass off for the next 6 months. If you're working your ass off for the next 6 months and you still don't find results, then your best case scenario is to find a team to work with. There's something that you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
If you follow the formulas that we just gave you, that's a formula for success. That's a recipe for success.
It works. We've made money from it.
No doubt.
This is not
It's
philosophy.
no question. And it's free. I'm not even gonna bill you to sit $9.99 a month. Okay, it's freedom. Okay?
Yeah.
Free game. But if you're not doing it right, if you're not making the calls right, there's something wrong.
You're not cooking up that stew right.
Yeah,
you're not taste it right.
it's just wrong for whatever reason. Then what you need to do is you need to find a group of people, like-minded individuals that want for you like they want for themselves.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, then you will find a way to make the money that you need to make in those kind of deals.
You'll find a way to consistently win at that.
Yeah, you'll learn.
It won't just be luck or magic or.
No, you'll figure out the process.
1,000%.
Yeah.
So Mo, say the seller said yes. Hey, I want to sell my house. What can you do for me? What number am I telling them? How do I underwrite this?
Absolutely. So next step, once you find that deal, your underwriting is incredibly important.
This is a masterclass, by the way. You have no idea. People charge crazy money for this.
This is a free masterclass on how to get your game up. This is the 10 Rock Commandments.
Right.
Okay, except there's only 9 on our list, and it's freedom. Okay, you don't gotta pay for the album. You don't gotta pay us for anything. We're just giving out the game for free today. Okay, 6 months that may not be the case. I don't know yet.
Right.
Okay, but
Take
right now it's freedom.
Success loves speed.
Yeah. So your next step is what? It's underwriting.
Yeah.
A good rule of thumb in a deal is you make your money on the buy. No matter what you do, no matter what work you put into the property, no matter how you could lace the house with gold trim, 24, it ain't gonna matter. What's gonna matter is how you buy the deal. Your money's made on the buy side of a deal. As long as you buy that property right, you can end right if you control all the factors. If you don't buy that property right, it don't matter what you do. You're in the hole day one, and you're trying to climb yourself out of it. So underwriting the deal, understanding your comps, getting
What are comps?
Comparative sales.
Yeah.
Okay, the way that you underwrite a deal is you find comparative sales in your area. You don't really go by what is future sales. You go by comparative sales within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Typically half a mile away.
Yeah, if you want a quick formula, half a mile away, try to keep it within 90 days. Avoid railroads, any major crosses. Keep it in a tight pocket. You know where you live at. You know your pockets of neighborhood. So try to keep it as tight as possible. And you use that to kind of, using the data pretty much to analyze that deal essentially.
Yeah. So understanding your comparative sales in a neighborhood and being a master at underwriting. You should underwrite deals all the time. You should underwrite deals for fun.
It's good practice.
If you truly want to be an investor and you're serious about becoming an investor, and you're not putting in the time to underwrite deals, you're not being serious with yourself.
So true.
So take the time, underwrite the deals, and shoot your shot.
What's some free ways to underwrite a deal? Get comps.
You could go on Zillow's, do 6 months comparative.
Sold properties, yeah.
Yeah, do sold properties within 6 months within a half a mile.
Redfin, I like using Redfin.
You can you can pay for PropStream. Okay, PropStream's a good one. Shout out to PropStream.
That's how I got my first deal, using PropStream, bro.
Shout out to PropStream. I need my check. All right. You can do that. And then once you understand what your comparative sales are, then you can make your offer. Because if you don't know what you have, you don't know how to lock it up. You don't know what price to offer. You don't know what to do with it.
Throwing spaghetti at the wall.
Yes. So
and basic rule of thumb, bro, buy low, sell high. So whether you're wholesaling or if you're going to fix and flip, you wanted to get the best discount on that ARV. Now, let's go into ARV.
Yeah.
So what's the ARV? It's an after repair value of a property, right? So you're taking your subject property, you're finding comparable sales in that area. You're finding a few that, similar conditions, seeing what the markets are selling for. But you want to find 2 or 3, best case scenario, properties, HGTV, same square footage, bed, bathroom, same layout, same area. What are the properties that are fixed up selling for the most value in that area? Because the market is going to dictate your offer. You can't I think it's worth 500K, but the market is only supporting 120. There's no theory. You have to let the data speak for itself. So you want to figure out the ARV, get an average of 3 properties that were sold at the top of the market.
average what?
Average of so you get 3.
Average sold amount or average per square foot cost?
Not even that. You get 3 comps that the ARV, take the average of the 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, let's just say it's 120,000.
Yeah.
You get that ARV. The way you determine your offer, at least from a wholesale standard, you take that ARV amount, so 110K, multiply it by 75%, depends on your market. Subtract the estimated rehab cost. Now we could get deeper into that, but that's the most you should be paying for a property, or your end buyer will be paying for a property. And we could dive super deep into that, but I want to give you like a quick napkin math of how I underwrite deals all the time. Someone send me a deal, if I'm talking to a seller, like I have to check out, I need to know at least my ballpark prices for that offer.
You're basically deducing what your exit's going to be on the sale. And it's not just the sale. You're deducing what an appraiser is going to give you if you're deciding to rent and hold it. And you can't know what to offer somebody unless you know what it's going to be valued at when it's done, how much repair it needs, right?
Yep.
And how much you need to make off of each deal. So you got to be very, very comfortable understanding all of those things. If you're not comfortable understanding those things, then what you need to do is do some training, figure out how to value things, or go to an investor meetup, find some people that you like-minded people that you can deal with.
Yep.
That's it.
Take the time.
Take the time. Your value may have been you produced a lead.
Yeah.
And you may catch a 4 or 5 figure check just for producing a solid lead.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a referral lead. And in that process, if you're smart, you can align yourself with the right people and learn the process and really make yourself part of a team.
Quite frankly, I think that's the most important thing is finding the deal, right?
Absolutely.
Don't worry about the banks off rip. Don't worry about your
overthink it.
contracts.
Yeah, don't overthink it.
Just bring a good deal to the table.
Yeah.
A good deal, you'll find the money, you'll find the buyer, whatever you have to do. Find the good deal.
Now, once you understand what you have, once you understand your ARVs, once you understand your cost per square foot, your ARVs, your repairs, you make your offer. Let's say now at this point, let's just assume that the seller agrees. Let's say the seller agrees to a price. At that point, what you want to do is you want to get the contract locked up.
Yep.
You actually don't have anything. You don't have a single thing. What you have is a conversation until you have a contract.
Good point.
All right? So once you have a contract, now you have an equitable share in an agreement that you can either assign or take down as an investor and turn that into a flip or a rental.
Yep.
So step 1, find the deal. Step 2, underwrite the deal properly. Step 3, lock the deal in. Make sure your contract's right. Make sure your agreement is the correct agreement. That way you know you're protected and the seller's protected and you're able to close out on the deal. Make sure it's a purchase agreement with an assignment option in there. Now, once you have that, now you can figure out what is your exit on this property.
Right. So let's just say we have a contract.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to wholesale it, but I really want to hold it for myself, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say the property's like, I don't know, 100K. I don't have 100K in my bank account. Can I buy this property?
Real quick, not to interrupt you, homeboy, this cigar is amazing. This is spectacular. What is this?
It's Monte Cristo.
Can we get a close-up of this joint? Because this is spectacular. I don't even want to get paid for this one. I just want to
Hold it to the camera.
This is very, very good cigar. This is a Monte Cristo?
Monte Cristo, I think.
A Churchill?
It's a Churchill size. Yeah.
Spectacular.
Yep.
Monte Cristo cigars. Spectacular. Go ahead. Where were you? Go ahead.
Yeah. So say I want to take down a property. So the seller said yes. I have it under contract for 100K. I want to keep this one for myself, but I don't have 100K in the bank. How do I buy this house and monetize from it?
Got it. So now you have a contract. You have your underwriting. You're ahead of the game now. Now you're going to figure out what your exit's going to be. You're going to source funding for the deal through a private lender. That private lender could be your grandma. Don't play with grandma's money though. Your underwriting better be right because grandma don't have money to lose. So if you're gonna grab private money, make sure you know what you're doing. Yeah. If you're gonna go out and source any money, you need to know what you're doing. Okay? So you can get private money. That person can be a friend, a family member, whatever it is. That person can be an investor in the area that you can team up with. That person can be a hard money lender, a DSCR lender. It could be the first time home purchase for you. You know, you could buy the house yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can buy the house, you know, with a conventional loan and then rent it out. as long as it's a conventional loan, right? You can get an investment loan in order to buy it. Put 20% down and buy that house.
What if they have bad credit?
Look, if your credit is problematic, there's ways of resolving that. You know what I'm saying? There's a ton of people out there that understand the credit process. They understand. People are so confused by how credit works. They think that credit is like it's set in stone. It's not. You know, if you do a lot of business and you have somebody send you a bill for like $100 and it doesn't, for whatever reason you miss it because you got 10,000 bills coming in, it's going to negatively impact your credit. That doesn't mean you have bad credit. That just means you need to clean up whatever that is.
It's a blemish.
Yeah, so you can do a quick YouTube search for ways to clear up your credit situation, your credit history. And there's ways you can pay people to do that. There's experts that do that.
Absolutely.
And you can clean up your credit situation.
Don't let nothing get in your way, bro.
There's an answer to every problem.
Yeah,
like literally, if you're afraid, a fear is an illogical response to a logical problem. If you're afraid of my credit, my money, like this, that, all you got to do is think it through.
So you said it's an illogical reaction to a logical problem.
Yes.
But why is it usually the first thing that
Because
from an instinctual level, I guess?
This is a very good question. This is a perfect question. Well, think about how we were designed to survive. How are human beings designed to survive?
Identify danger as soon as possible.
Yeah. If you could not identify danger, you're dead. like you're gone. So if you think about it, like that's the number one, most basic natural reaction for a human being to things. It's not whether or not you're going to be afraid. It's understanding how to mitigate and control your fear.
Right.
It's controlling your emotions.
Doing it anyways.
And logically thinking your way through the process. And if you can do that, you're gonna find a solution for damn near any problem.
So true.
You know what I'm saying? You just gotta work your way through the problem. Now, once you identify your funding source, your exit strategy, whether it's an assignment, it's a takedown as a rental or a flip, it's a sale to an invest, whatever your private money funding, whatever it is, now you have to really define.
Let's just say it's a buy and hold.
Yeah.
I got the funding, I got the deal.
We'll get specific.
Yeah.
So if it's a buy and hold situation, you need to understand your rehab.
Right.
Are you doing the work or are you hiring somebody to do the work? You need to understand is it a remote investment or is it a domestic investment?
Yeah.
So domestic to me would be like within your own backyard within like a couple hours drive.
Right.
So if you're taking down a property and it's in your neighborhood, then you want to make sure that you have a contractor that you can deal with, insured contractor, licensed contractor. Very, very important. You check their insurance policy over and over and over.
So you're saying I shouldn't blindly trust a contractor?
Listen, man, don't get me started. Contractors are interesting people. Shout out to the contractors out there. Some of them get a bad rap for a reason. They're interesting people. You really need to vet who you're dealing with.
Yeah. There's no dig with no contract.
It's not a dig. Yeah. It's a reality.
Yep.
There's good and bad people in every scenario.
Yep.
And if you're giving somebody a deposit for work
that hasn't been started yet.
Yeah, you need to know who they are. Better Business Bureau, go there, check on them, ask her for referrals.
Photos.
Yeah, ask her for photos of the work that she's done. Go to the work sites. That's a big one. Ask them for an address that they're working on right now and pop up.
That is big.
And just walk the property and then really look at the work that they're doing. The referrals that they give you, call them. Ask them what they did, If the contractor's refusing to give you any referrals, if they're not insured, if they're XYZ, you know what I'm saying? You're taking a gamble at that time.
Good point. So when you're buying a property, becoming an investor, dealing with don't burn your face off, brother.
Seriously.
You have to understand. Shout out to
That's a torch. It'll torch your whole fucking life. Go ahead.
Shout out to Najee Barnes, is a mentor of mine, and he said something that stuck with me a little bit, like almost 2 years ago. And it's very simple. Like, no one's gonna care more about your money than yourself. That applies for the lender, the contractor. So you have to control every step of that project. Because at the end of the day, you signed your name to that property.
Absolutely.
And you can speak on that more times than not.
Absolutely. So a good rule of thumb is really understand who it is that you're dealing with, and then dissect their quote for the rehab in two different parts. Like this is a slick way for you to understand what the cost of a rehab is going to be.
Like a T-chart?
Yes.
Okay.
Labor, materials.
Cool.
Right? Make a T-chart. On the right side, put your material amount. What it is that you need to do, and find out what the cost of those materials are. On the left side of the chart, put their labor amount. What I do in some scenarios, if I'm close to the job, I'll control material. If I'm not close to the job, I don't want to be a material buyer for anybody. I'll just give them a flat amount, but I need to vet them a little bit more. Because if they're including their quote as a labor and material quote, they're gonna want a deposit to start. That deposit, that's where you get caught. The deposits is where you get caught.
Wow.
It's like in buying a property, the decision, the purchase is where you make money. On dealing with a contractor, the first payment is where you get caught. So if you have a contractor that you've never worked with before, what I do is I backload the payments. I don't front load them.
What do you mean by that?
So like if they let's say they quote you 50 grand to do a reno and it's labor and materials and they want 30% down. You don't need 30% down to get started. I'll break the payments up into 5 payments.
Okay.
And I'll say, I'll give you, after I've vetted them and after I feel comfortable enough to write them a check, I'll say, nah, we'll do 10 grand first. We'll do 20% of the payment first. You do this, you hit that goal, then I'll get you another 20%. And then I'll inspect and I'll define what they need to do at every step. So you'll get 20% when you have, I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say you have a property and needs a full rental, it needs a gut. I'll say, look, you'll get $10,000 up front as a deposit. Your next payment will only be dispersed after I inspect. At time of inspection, at the second time of inspection, I expect demo to be done, permits to be submitted, everything to be cleaned out, framing to be done. You understand?
Right.
Let's say I have some siding or some roofing or some windows or whatever it is. I'll have those items front loaded. Once you accomplish those, then you can ask me for another payment.
Right.
If those items, and I'll inspect. If those items are not done, there's no other payment.
Yeah, it's nothing to talk about.
Very important rule. It don't matter what the guy says. It doesn't matter what they say. You have an agreement, and you should have a contract with these contractors.
Right.
You should have a defined set of things that you need to get done before a second payment is made. It doesn't matter what they tell you. The second payment is not dispersed until the first set of things are done.
Because that was agreed upon before you started.
Exactly. If you give them another payment, what's the guarantee they're going to catch up on the first set of things? I want you to put yourself in the perspective of a contractor for a second.
Yeah.
You have kids, a family, you're a contractor. You take a job. Sometimes these contractors are not doing the work, they're subbing the work out. You get into a situation, you pay a sub to do a demo. The sub takes the money and leaves. Where does that leave the investor? Jammed up.
Yeah.
So you're taking a risk by hiring a contractor that may not be a good manager.
Right.
Because he's actually your project manager.
Yeah.
So if he's not managing the job correctly, he's not hiring the right people, you're going to get a bad quality outcome, bad work, bad quality outcome, things are not getting done correctly, and you're already under the gun. So it's super important that you police that process. And the only way that you can police them as an investor is the money. Mm-hmm. So you take photos of the project before, you define what the payments are going to be,
Yeah.
and after the payments, what is expected to be done, and then you disperse based on that.
Right.
And, go ahead.
So say you're getting, I might be going like jumping ahead. So say you're getting the money from the lender. How do you get that to the contractor? It goes from the lender to you, then contractor?
Of course.
Okay.
You never give it to the contractor direct.
For sure.
But you give it to the contractor direct, you may never see them.
Yeah.
You know?
And now that's debt that you still have to service.
Your name is on that loan. The contractor's got nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Listen, there are some good contractors out there, and there's contractors that'll take your money and never get the job done.
Yeah.
Or they'll do faulty work and you'll get jammed up.
Yeah.
So super important that you're cognizant of that.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people get jammed up.
That's so true.
Yeah. So holding on to the money and underwriting the work that needs to be done and establishing a criteria of when the funding is going to happen on your side, when your draw process or when your disbursements to that contractor is going to happen. That's how you regulate the flip.
Yeah.
That's how you regulate the reno. And if they're not doing what they need to do at any stage, you need to abort mission.
Right. Replace immediately.
You can't play that game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get 2-3 payments in with no work being done. The job is screwed at that point. You're in a bad position.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to find money to go finish the project, and now you may lose money on this.
Yeah.
So if you're
And time.
if you're a novice investor and you're not really, I would suggest not even going through the reno and selling the deal to somebody who knows what they're doing.
Wholesale.
Yeah, if you wholesale the deal, sell it to an investor who knows what they're doing, you're better off. You secure your bag and you make sure you mitigate your risk.
You're learning in the process. Exactly what I did. My first year, I was like, dude, I'm not doing nothing else but wholesaling.
Yeah.
I need money. Boom, I'm making checks, 30 days or less. I'm learning transactions. I'm dealing with title companies. I'm building up buyers. I have wholesale friends that they wanted to get into fix and flips. They'll do like, they'll start their career doing quite a few wholesales. And then they'll have a buyer they have a good rapport with. Like, yo, instead of like me just making a check, I'll bring the deal. You do the reno. We partner.
Yeah.
So that's a possibility for a lot of people.
Absolutely. Finding a partner is like key. If you're lucky enough to do that, then do that.
Yeah.
If you don't understand the rental process, you don't invest. If you're not an investor, if you're not a savvy investor, find somebody that is. You can partner with them and take it that way.
Right. Because you got to pay for the game, man. If you're not bringing value to that investor that's been doing this for years,
or you haven't worked for a flipper or something like that, you're gonna have to find a way to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta pay your tuition.
Yes.
And understand that there's a tuition to be paid no matter what.
This is a pay-to-win business for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm sure like many others.
So we defined the reno, we secured the funding, we got the deal, we know what our exits are, we underwritten the deal. Okay, we're choosing the correct contractor, right? That's step 6. Step 7 is understanding and structuring the payouts. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Really, really late, like underwrite your contractor like you underwrite your deal.
Right.
Like make a line item of things and say, these are the things that I need to get done. These are the time frames. Time is important. It's a really big one because they'll agree to do the work and they'll do the work, but they'll drag your job and go to a different job. They'll take your deposit and go to a different job because they're backed up on cash.
Sound like you're speaking from experience.
Dude, come on now. You know what I'm saying? They don't call me the sheik for nothing. You know what I mean? Like you gotta understand what you're dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. So
there's a lot of, it's unfortunate, man, but you're gonna deal with different people in life and you gotta be thick-skinned and understand that. So understanding and structuring the payouts is a big one. Okay, now this is an important one that will come after the project is approaching the end of its cycle. So I would say the later stages of a reno is really like getting all your permits passed, your rough inspection, your final inspection, and then the CO. Very, very important.
What's the CO?
Certificate of occupancy.
Got it.
A lot of towns require you to get a certificate of occupancy in order for you to place a tenant in there or place or sell the property.
Does the county issue that once they inspect it?
It's the city.
Gotcha.
And it's normally the fire department.
Right.
What they do is they walk the property and they check for smoke alarms. I'm talking from experience in New Jersey.
Right.
Other cities may be like a city official.
Every market's gonna be different.
Every market's gonna be different. So what you do is make sure that you hold a final payment until after CO is passed. You may have closed walls, painted walls. You may have trim in place.
Looks great.
Everything may look fine, but you don't have the city may have required hardwired smoke detectors. What are you going to do if they need hardwired smoke detectors?
Instead of the battery operated ones?
Some cities are okay with the battery, but if you do a full reno, sometimes they want you to do hardwire.
I see.
Now, if you don't have hardwired smoke detectors and the city requires it, you're going to have to put those smoke detectors in. So you're going to have to undo some of that work.
Right.
So if you paid out all the money for the contract, what do you think the contractor's going to do?
They're not incentivized to do it.
You think they're going to come back and finish the job correctly, or they're going to act like they don't know you?
Probably the second.
Unfortunately, yeah. So hold that final payment. Make sure that final payment stipulates that it's after CO.
All this is in writing.
You got to put something in writing with these guys because it is what it is. You just want to protect yourself, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so that comes right before securing the tenant or the sale. Once you have a product to sell, once you have a marketable product, whether it's a flip or a marketable rental, I would say one of the most important things that you do in the final stages is pick the right person to manage the out sale,
Okay.
aka your realtor.
So in this case, the buy and hold. So you're looking for a tenant.
Okay, how are you going to list that property? Let's say it is a rental. You're looking for that tenant. Who's placing the tenant?
It should be a real estate agent. Which I actually didn't know early on. I didn't know you could list for rent. I didn't know you would have like a broker or an agent listed for rent.
Absolutely.
Which makes
You can list a property on MLS for rent, and typically you get a better rental amount.
Nice.
You get a more qualified tenant.
Very good.
But who you choose to represent you can make the world of a difference. Not all agents are created equal. Not all contractors are created equal. Not all investors are created equal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be differences. You want to find an agent that's very experienced with dealing with investors. And if you have that kind of agent on the out sale, they're gonna know how to run their comps for rent. The wrong agent can tell. Like, I've had agents tell me a property that I rented for $2,500. They're like, "You'd be lucky to get $1,900." I'm like, "No, I think you're wrong." They're like, "Yeah, but I'm the agent. I know what I'm." I'm like, "Yeah, but you're wrong."
Arrogance. Yeah.
There's a lot of arrogance out there. So you gotta run your comps and understand where the market is rental wise. That way you can place your tenant and make the money that you're supposed to make, because that mistake costs $600 a month. That's the profit on the deal.
Yeah.
So in a year,
Come on.
you're talking about $7,200 on a miscalculation.
Yeah.
That agent basically screwed you.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a great point.
Yeah, and once you sign that lease, you're locked in.
Right.
You know? So
Because you have to understand, like, when you have a loan in place, so
Yeah.
that mortgage needs to be satisfied.
If
If
it's
you're
a-
paying out of pocket, but you need that tenant to pay that off, and then you make profit.
if this is a rental, your goal in the rental side of it is to get a tenant in there, cover your mortgage, make some profit on the deal. You know, make profit on the deal, include maintenance, repairs in your monthly,
Right.
and walk away from the deal with a nice sum of money.
Right.
That way your time was worth, because that's how you're extracting your value.
Right.
Now, if you're able to do all that, you have a perfect scenario.
Right.
You have a rental property that's being paid off by a tenant. You get the benefits of the appreciation on the property. You get the tax benefits of the depreciation on the property, and you get the rental income every month. It's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Like, it's across the board a win,
Right.
right? And a lot of wealth is, as you know, is built on long-term holds.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're able to do all that, place the tenant correctly, make sure your lease is correct, you got yourself a winning situation.
Absolutely. So you took a fixer-upper property, forced in equity, stabilized it with a tenant.
Yeah,
Are you always refinancing, or it's kind of, I guess it's case by case?
it's case by case.
But you could now.
You could.
You put equity into it, so maybe like that 20K. Would you say 20K closing costs on a 100K loan?
Yeah.
That you put in up front, you could refinance, pay yourself back, so you're no money onto the deal. Now you're cash flowing, and you can make profit.
So
That's
the
the burn method, by the way.
So if you're burning the property, it's a burn method. Can you explain what the burn method is?
Yeah. So you buy, you renovate, you rent it out, then you refinance. So you buy, you renovate it, so you put in equity to the property, you rent it out, so now it's stabilized. That mortgage is now being satisfied, and you're cash flowing. That 100K loan that you got, let's just say the house is worth like what, 170.
Yeah.
You take out 75%, whatever that number is. You
So
refi-
so why don't we do the math right now? Let's say you
it makes
bought.
more sense we do the math.
Yeah, let's do the math. Let's say you bought a property for $100,000, and let's say the value on the property, the after renovation value, the ARV, is $200,000, and let's say the house needed $25,000 in reno. Okay, we follow?
Yo.
So you would buy the house typically with a hard money loan or private money or your own money. You would do your renos, you do everything you need to do. Now, after all of that is done correctly, you would have a $200,000 house. The way you would look at that $200,000 house is, how do I exit this hard money, private money situation and get funding for a DSCR loan or a loan like a refi.
Something more long term.
More long term, that way your rates are better and you've stabilized that property. Typically, a hard money lender, and there's some hard money lenders that would go up on leverage, by the way. It's not just 75%.
Okay.
I've heard hard money lenders go up to 90, 85.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's say you take the 75% option. You would go and you take 75% of your 200,000. You got 150,000 of loanable amount.
Right.
Right?
And you're all in.
125.
Exactly.
So now you can turn around and tell the bank, I have a $200,000 property. Give me 150,000. Let me clear my 125 that I owe and put 25,000 in my pocket.
Non-taxed.
Because it's a loan.
Yeah.
It's not an out sale. That's a debt.
Yeah.
So
that debt's being satisfied by the tenant that you put into place.
the debt's being satisfied by the tenant.
So you're no money in. You got your money back out. You made your profit, and your mortgage being satisfied.
That, by the way, is a perfect case Burr.
Yeah.
If you walk away with money off a Burr, the Sheik approves. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've checked off every aspect of what a successful Burr should be.
Yeah.
You've made money on this deal. You're no money into it. You've paid off the 125. You're sitting pretty.
Right.
Now, super important. This is all contingent upon you picking the right tenant. If you pick the wrong tenant, congratulations, you have a problem. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to pick the right tenant.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of aspects of this, man, that they seem simple, and a lot of these people that are selling these courses are presenting them as simple things, and they're not. I think
every step of the way gets really deep.
Yeah, I think a better way to present this would be to say, these are all the risks. Do you want to have wealth or not? These are all the risks. If you say that despite all of these risks, I want to develop wealth and I want to learn and I want to make mistakes and I want to do this and I want to do that, then this process is something that you should move forward with. If you're an investor and you don't want to take any risks, take your money, put it in a CD. Get your 4 points or 5 points or whatever it is that they're paying you right now, because it's going to go down. As rates go down, CD rates are going to go down, and just live with it.
Yep.
If you want to create long-term wealth in the real estate industry, you have to accept that there's a certain level of risk that comes with it.
Yep.
You can't have both.
Yep.
So if you can accept that there's a level of risk by taking a tenant and putting them in a property, you figure out how to mitigate that risk. Choose your tenants wisely. Section 8, your tenants in. Make sure that money's being paid by, the government,
The local government.
HUD. There's ways to mitigate that risk.
Right.
Check their rental history.
Right.
Check their rentometer. What's the one that we use, Phil?
You got it.
Rentometer is to check what the valuations are, but there's another one. There's like a rental credit score.
Oh.
Yeah, there's like a rental credit score for people.
No, not.
Yeah, you can check. You can do basically a rental history. Find out if they have evictions.
Right.
You got to work.
This is hands-on.
Yeah,
There's no such
it's
thing
not a
as,
passive business.
I have a contractor. I trust him. I have a property manager. I trust him.
My friend,
It sounds nice.
the passive bullshit is what they sell in order to get you a course.
Yeah.
It's not passive.
You could do everything right, like you said, but if you pick the wrong tenant, month number 4, like, you know what? I want to pay it. I'm a professional squatter, and I live in Jersey, and I know my squatter rates.
Then you got a problem.
Now you're paying mortgage, taxes, utilities, and this person's not stabilized, no debt.
You have a problem at that point, and you got to deal with that problem. And you went into the deal knowing that there's no guarantees in life. There's no guarantees in how you're going to get yourself out of that situation if things go wrong.
Right.
You have to be prepared to understand that that's part of the business. If you're not prepared, again, it's probably not a business you want to be in.
Right.
Just do something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Work the 9 to 5
Yeah.
and put your money away. If you made an investment in the stock market, would there be a risk?
If you made money?
If you made an investment in the stock market, is there a guarantee that you're not going to lose all your money? Of course you can lose. It's an investment. Anytime you make an investment, there's a risk to it.
For sure.
So you have to understand what those risks are. My point is, people are better served explaining the risks clearly, making sure that people are fully cognizant of what their risks are going into the deal.
Right.
And then they can make a decision.
Right.
And then you made a decision eyes wide open
Right.
versus making a decision where you're not really sure.
You'd be surprised along the way.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Now,
Let me ask something real quick.
yeah.
I've heard a line. It was like, geez, how'd it go? Not everyone deserves to be a business owner, but everyone does deserve to be an investor. So here's a prime example. This is what I think.
Why are they deserving to be an investor? Why does anybody deserve anything?
Maybe I used the wrong word.
Go ahead.
Deserve is a strong word, but you kind of catch my drift. Everyone should.
Everybody should be an investor.
Should, not deserve. Everybody should.
If you know what's best for you, you should be an investor.
Being a business owner is not cut for everybody.
No.
But everybody should plant their money somewhere because it's going to work more for you.
Being an investor is not being a business owner.
Correct.
It's not.
Correct.
Being an investor is investing. There's passive ways to make investments.
Here's an example, right? So say you have a great job. There's nothing wrong with 9 to 5s. Let's say you're like number 5 or the CEO, or just say you're making good money.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I want to get into real estate, but I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to deal with contracts. I've heard this before. A great way, you find real estate operators, real estate investors that have results that can show you, like, hey, pull in this address, you'll see my LLC show up. So
yeah.
People with receipts. Become their private lender. Not because you like them or you trust them necessarily. You should have those things. But when you give them money to do a deal like this as a private lender,
there's a risk.
Money, but you're tying your first lien position to the house.
Yeah.
So if anything goes wrong, it's
there's,
not like,
it's
yo,
less
bro,
risk.
I'm going to pay you back. It's no
yeah. What you're talking about is you're becoming a private money lender
exactly.
or a gator lender.
Yep.
Like you're providing them with money to get their deposit.
Your money's secured by real estate.
Yeah, you can take a first or second lien position.
So if they stop paying you, you have the asset. You could go ahead and sell it because it's probably fixed up better. Than
Yeah. So the way that I would say it is, this formula is for somebody that wants to be an end investor.
Correct.
If you want less risky investments, there is a bucket of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But in all honesty, I'm speaking from personal experience. I haven't found a better way to create wealth than this. And that's just the truth.
I hear that, yeah.
So I think that you should be malleable, be flexible, understand that there are things that you can do with less risk and more risk, and then only assume the risk that you can take. I have a propensity for risk.
Yep.
That's just it.
I'm sure that comes from you understanding who you are, though.
That comes from a lot of years of experience and understanding that nothing's going to be easy. And there's going to be challenges along the way, and you have to accept that. And that's all there is to it. Do the best that you can to deal with it.
That's a good point.
And that's it. And sometimes things go right, sometimes things go wrong. You got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You want them to go right. You don't want them to go wrong. But there's no guarantees.
You got to learn how to pivot.
You got to learn how to pivot. So once you have a tenant in place, once you've made all the right decisions, it's a long list of decisions that you need to make correctly. You get a tenant in place. Now you have to decide the final stage. Do you want a job as a property manager, or do you want to outsource somebody to manage the property? Once you have a tenant in place, if something goes wrong in the tenancy, right? Are you going to take the call for a leaky toilet?
I don't want to.
Okay, are you going to take the call for a faucet? Are you going to take the call for a roof leak? How about a water heater that goes bad?
That's a quick way to become a tired landlord.
Yeah, so I think you'd be best served understanding what managing a property entails and whether or not you want to manage that property on the exit.
Right.
Now, there's a quick way not to deal with that. You hire a property manager.
Right.
And there's companies that provide that service at a percentage of whatever your rent is.
Right.
That percentage is anywhere between 8% to 20%. And it really is going to depend on the quality. This is a big one. You can pay somebody 20%, it could be a dog shit property manager. You can pay somebody 10%, it could be a great property manager. If somebody's property managing your property, they're picking the people that are going to do your repairs. How do you know those repairs are going to be done correctly?
Right.
How do you know they're not slapping Band-Aids on things? You don't.
Great point.
So all of this is doable. All of it is possible and there's wealth to be made, but you just have to be cognizant of all of the steps.
Right. And real quick, I want to emphasize, when you're doing a buy and hold, like, the name of the game is the cash flow. So it comes back to step number 2, which is underwriting. You got to know how much insurance you're paying, what your property taxes are. Obviously, when you refinance, what that mortgage payment is. then you have 10% going to property management. You should know these numbers before you even enter.
That's all underwriting.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was like step 1 or 2.
I just want to emphasize, like, don't take the loan out and then try to figure out your numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lock that in first.
Yeah.
The name of it, because otherwise you have a 30-year mortgage that you're probably breaking even, or you have to pay out of pocket for it.
Yeah.
You live in the place.
I think you're 100% right. Understanding the underwriting is the key to this, and you should include your property management exit in that cost, step 1 or step 2. You should know that if you're renting a property for $2,000 and your mortgage is $1,000, and you're paying a property manager $1,200, your mortgage and your PIT, your property insurance, your interest and taxes are about $1,000, and then your property manager is getting $200. You're paying out $1,200 a month for cost to hold this note, to hold this property, to hold this asset. You're in the end of that, you're making $800. Right? You should be cognizant of those numbers.
Right.
Include your maintenance, your repairs, all of these things in there. Include a buffer as well.
Right.
Maybe a $200 buffer.
Right.
If things go wrong, you put it aside. In 10 years, I'm gonna need a roof. And you know what I'm saying?
Right.
In 5 years, I'm gonna need it. If it's a new roof, you need it in 10 to 15 years.
Right.
You do all of these things, and you've walked into the situation eyes wide open. Right?
And you're not going to get rich off this first one, by even nowhere close.
I mean, honestly, bro, it doesn't take a lot of these to change your life.
Yeah.
Once you understand this, and you have you don't have to have 100 doors. If you have 10 properties paid off completely and you own them, you could retire. If the rental amounts are good.
It's because that's wealth. You don't have to be rich to be wealthy.
It's real income.
Yeah.
It's a real type of income that I haven't seen anywhere else.
Wow.
On the rental side.
With you, and you have multiple businesses.
Multiple businesses. Yeah. And also my strategy, I'll be clear. My strategy is rental. It's always going to be rental in the end.
Right.
But in order to build that portfolio, you need cash.
Right.
So you need different vehicles in order to get you the cash to get you the end result.
That's why, if you're brand new, man, get into wholesaling.
Yeah.
It's a great way to jump into it. You don't have money tied up into the property.
Absolutely.
You don't need cash or credit. I don't care what nobody's saying.
Yeah.
I started this with a maxed out credit card.
Wholesaling is it. If you're in the beginning stages of this thing and you're not understanding how you're gonna get the money to get going, wholesale has been life changing.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Changed my life.
Yeah. So if you're able to do that and get some capital together, then you move into a position where you start thinking about rentals.
Right. Because you and I've been in the business for a little bit over 2 years now. And again, I haven't taken out any real estate loans yet. We're about to. I haven't taken out single real estate loans. My first year is strictly wholesaling.
Yeah.
We now have a portfolio of 17 properties in Ohio that we're cash flowing.
Yeah.
Because we 50-50 split everything.
Yeah.
I've used all the money I've wholesale, so I just roll it into next investments. Then we have 17 properties cash flowing to this day.
Yeah.
With no loans.
Yeah.
Without my own money, I had to work at a job and save up for.
Yeah.
I earned the money, put it into investments that paid me back. Take that, put it to the next one.
Dude, just so you understand, I want you to understand this. That's not normal. A lot of people will hear that and be like, "No, that's not normal."
I hear you.
It's not. Getting that kind of door count in that short of a period and not having any experience,
1 year.
that's not normal. And being able to cash flow on those properties and make money on them, make real money on them to a point where you can quit your job, that's not normal.
I just quit my job last month.
Yeah, that's not normal to a point where educational program coming soon, paid educational program coming soon. That's how not normal it is. And I think for you don't have any comparison, so you take it for,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I'm telling you there's comparisons. It's not normal.
I believe it.
Yeah, so shout out to you for understanding how to navigate that water.
Absolutely. Yeah, I just kind of took different exit strategies. It's all built from wholesale. I took that and I learned some new strategies, creative finance, and okay, well, what if I take this part of creative, match it with wholesale, and I do this, and okay, cool, I'm gonna do that with my first one, and it happened.
Yeah.
And I met you, oh yeah, we need to do this 100 times over. I'm like, bro, I just want 3 for the year.
Yeah.
Now we're at 17.
Yeah. So getting the right partner is super important.
Bro, what?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's like throwing gasoline on a fire.
Yeah.
It's like lighting a match and then throwing gasoline on it when you have the right person. If you have the wrong person, it's like throwing a bucket of water on it. If you have the right person, it's like putting gasoline on a flame. And if that person is the right person, well, I would always tell you this in the beginning. I'm like, bro, they're gonna continue printing money.
Yeah.
Like, we need to worry about how much we can do fast together.
Yeah.
Like, there's an unlimited amount of
I
resources.
did have a limited mindset coming into it. Like, man, I only have a certain amount of money.
Well, that comes from the background.
Exactly.
You worked at a job.
Yeah.
You know,
That's all I knew.
all you knew was like there's a limited amount of X or Y. So I have to limit myself.
Right.
But once you get past that thinking and you get into a place where you're like damn, this world is really abundant, your whole perception of life changes. You no longer see people as competitors. You see like the world is like a playground.
Yeah.
And you move through a playground wanting to do things.
Yeah.
You don't think about being a kid. Remember when you were a kid and you would go to a playground? You didn't have a care in the world. It's only when you were levied all of these responsibilities and problems and bills that you all of a sudden you felt constrained.
That's so true.
But as a child, you never feel constrained.
Prime example, when you're a kid, bro, you're not scared to fall down, literally. As an adult, like, how often are we falling over? That can be detrimental to a lot of people.
You are taught that falling is failure.
Yeah.
This is the mistake. You're taught in life that if you fall, you have failed. You have failed as an investor. You have failed as a person. What most people are not taught is you're supposed to fall. You're not supposed to fail. You're supposed to fall. You're supposed to bump your knee. Things are gonna go wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's life. How you react to those things is important.
Yeah.
And if you react to those things and you fold like a cheap chair,
So important.
you were never gonna win.
And that applies for the good and the bad.
Yeah.
My first wholesale check was like a little bit over 11 grand. It's the most amount of money I had like in one time, one shot. I was telling Phil about this. Yes, I celebrated. Like, yo, I made a check. It finally happened.
Pause.
Yeah.
Speak on the 11 grand, how when it hit the account, how it slapped. For those of you that have never made a 5-figure check in your life, imagine waking up every day working a 9 to 5. Imagine, like, just put that in your mind for a second. You're working a 9 to 5 every day, and you're just thinking about how you're going to get through the week, how you're going to get through the month, how you're going to get through the year. And you don't know there's a way to make a 5-figure check without putting any risk into it.
Yep.
That shit is magic.
It is.
It's spectacular.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I can speak on that perspective.
Honestly, it is something so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And when that check slaps, because that's what it does.
Yeah.
It slaps, dude. When it hits that account and you're like, damn, this is real. This shit, like, I was not misled. It's not bullshit. This world is abundant. Then and only then do you see this world for what it really is. It's an abundant world. You're not stuck. You're not constrained. You're not caught. You're not sitting in a fucking box working like every day and you're not seeing any results, any wealth creation.
A rat race.
I implore everybody that wants to be an investor to do their research and to put their time and effort into the most valuable yielding thing that they can do with their time. And being an investor does not mean having money. It means knowing how to think your way through problems.
That's big. That's really big. I want to speak on that too because when I got that check, I had a 9 to 5. And at the time, I would have to work 40 hours a week to make $3 grand take home for a month.
Yeah.
And I made 11 grand.
Yeah.
I said, bro, I just did 4 months of work and a couple weeks of work, actual like physical work.
I call that a certified slap.
Yeah. I took like 3 screenshots and when it hit the account, like
When I hits the account, slap. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you have to rethink your life.
oh yeah.
You take a step back, you go back into your house and you're like, you know, what I do is I'll celebrate. I'll go have a cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? I celebrate, you know, different than other people.
Yeah.
You know, I limit even my celebrations.
Yeah.
This is important. Hold on a second.
That's what I wanted to jump into.
Yeah, hold on.
What happens when you make that win? This
For me?
defines you. No, I'm just saying in general. Like this defines what trajectory you're going.
Are you,
Get
are you
that win. What are you doing?
me personally?
Yeah. Now it's a question to you.
Me. I have a different mindset when it comes to celebrating.
My man's different, bro.
Yeah.
Right, like,
I don't celebrate too hard. I feel like celebrating too hard is a waste of time. And I think if you're celebrating a small win, you're kidding yourself. I want to celebrate real wins. And I really self-reflect on whether or not it's a win. If you're in a situation where you're not where you want to be financially and you're celebrating a small win, it's like you're tricking yourself. You're lying to yourself. I believe that you can stop and smell the roses when you have a rose field, bushes of roses, not when you have a petal.
That's a great idea.
You know what I mean? Like you sitting here enjoying a dead flower. You have work to do.
Yes.
Put your head in the game and get to work.
Yeah.
You know, don't sit there thinking that you're gonna go and blow this bag on a car or a vacation, or you're not an investor. You're not a wholesaler. You're not an investor. You're not an entrepreneur.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're a wantrepreneur. You're not really doing it. You're celebrating the wrong things. Focus on real. If you're celebrating after you made one check, and your mom don't have a house, and your car's not paid off, and your life is not taken care of, and your kids are not with your wife, and what are you celebrating?
It's a lot of work to
You're
do.
celebrating a blurb on the screen. Get with the program. There's a lot of work to do. Get with the work. There's a time and a place to celebrate. You understand? I'm cool having a steak.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool having a cup of coffee, but I'm going back to work. Sometimes I'll slap. Shout out to the slaps. I'll slap and I'll go to the gym right after. Just so I don't think that I'm celebrating too hard.
I do that too.
I'll have a cup of coffee and I'll say, you know what? Stop playing yourself. Go to work. Or I'll start making calls right after. Or I'll tell my team, squash that noise. We got work to do. We got contracts to lock up. We got projects to finish. That's important.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I do think that there are times in life where you should celebrate. You know what I'm saying? When you get to a place where you retire your parents, that beats any stake in the world, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you can buy your mom a car, when you could pay their mortgage off, when you can put them in a position of security, when you feel like you've done so much for them, when they pray for you. Imagine your parents praying for your success because how much you take care of them.
How can you lose?
Man, that's success. You celebrate that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You celebrating money, it's not even real.
Yo.
You understand? This is why we do it. We don't do it to celebrate,
Yo.
That's how it really is.
Right. Get that first check and then prove to yourself that it wasn't by luck.
If you think your success is a 5-figure check, then you don't know your own value.
Oh, that's a word right there. That was it. I made that check, bro. Like, this is not by luck. Let me do it again. And it took me 7 months. I hired an assistant immediately, and it took 7 months to get my next deal. I had plenty of times like, you know what? Maybe it was just one check. I should quit now. Nah, F that. 7 months, and I got back into it.
The key is not to quit on yourself.
Oh no, real quick, by the way, I never gave up. I was still banging on phone calls. I wasn't landing anything. I was locking it up too high. I was dealing with this foundation issues. Buyer don't want it.
Yeah, but you tasted that first check, bro.
I knew it was real.
You had that sauce. Once you had that sauce, forget it.
I knew it was real.
You know what I mean? Once you hit that first check, can't nobody tell you anything anymore. Because you know it's real. And when you know it's real, now it's on you.
That's so true.
It's on you to make it more real or make it a waste of time.
Yep.
I know a lot of people that cannot make it in that business because their consistency is wrong. They want to go out and they want to celebrate. They want to go on vacation. They want to spend the money. They want to do all that.
Talk about consistency, man. That's huge. Bro.
You can't get anything done without it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're not being consistent every day, you're gonna have spurts of success that you lie to yourself about what you should be doing.
Yeah.
That's not you. You have to be consistent.
Yeah.
You have to. We all have our challenges. We all have our times where, you know, our better nature gets, our animalistic side of us gets the best of us. We become emotional. We want to celebrate. We want to enjoy. We want to do these things. But at some point, you got to be logical about yourself. If you know what the formula is and you feel your life hasn't changed for the better, you're not doing something right.
Right.
And honestly, if you're a wholesaler and you're having inconsistent success, get with a team. If you're somebody that's entering this field and you haven't been able to lock up a deal, get with a team. If you're somebody, and you can DM us, you can reach out to us. Now,
there's enough money for everybody.
There's enough money for everybody. And if you're gonna get with us, you better come with some humility. Don't come with that bullshit. You can save that.
Yeah.
You know?
Be coachable.
If you're coachable and you come with humility and you come with an open mind, the world is your oyster. If you come to the situation and you want to do it your way, keep doing it your way. You weren't having any success. Why are you coming to me? You was already taking L's. I don't need to take L's with you. You can do it yourself. Right or wrong? Why you knocking on my door? You're here for a reason.
Right.
If you're here for a reason, let me do my job. If you don't want me to do my job, continue doing what you were doing.
And people gotta understand that, bro. There's people that's very successful out here. E.g. Mohammed. Bro, you could just like close all doors. Like, I'm making all my money anyways. You don't have to help people out, bro. You don't have to. It's a lot of private, successful people. There's a lot of people that's killing it. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna keep this private.
You know, I think what's important.
Real quick, I just want to say, for the record, you helped me out tremendously, and you didn't have to.
We helped each other out.
We did.
I don't feel that I need to take the credit of that.
Okay.
I feel that we can say that we helped each other out, and I'm happy to do it. And it was a blessing to meet you.
Respect.
Right?
Likewise.
I think this important thing that you said, there's some people that are successful, they can just close all doors. Depends on what you define success to be. If you define success that you can go on vacation, I guess. If you define success as you have a nice new car, okay. My definition of success is a little different. My definition of success are the things that I listed. And if I have not checked off all of those boxes, then I don't think that I'm successful. And to this day, I don't feel successful.
Wow. So having those goals clear is very important.
Yeah, I'm okay saying that.
Yeah.
I don't. Yo, man, I'm not defined by things. I'm not. I'm defined by goals.
That's big.
I'm not defined by consumption.
Yeah.
I'm defined by goals. All this shit is temporary. So if I feel that I'm attaining my goals, then I feel successful.
Wow.
My goals are not things.
So it's not just money, cars, houses.
I'm not defined by those things. Those things are temporary. They come and go.
Right.
My success is different to me. So if you're walking into a scenario and you're defining your life by those things, first of all, you can lose those things. They can be taken away from you. You may not get them. Along the way, you can get crippled by the lack of things. I'm the guy that can work 3 years and pull up in an MV200, or I can pull up in something else and it won't matter.
Yeah.
It will matter to some other people, but it doesn't matter to me.
Everyone has different.
And for those people that know me, know that.
True.
Do you understand? And I think that's super important. Success is a different thing to different people. And to me, it's a completely different thing.
Right.
It's what value I can create for my friends and family in this life.
Wow.
And what impact I can have. And if my impact is not seen or felt, then I don't feel successful.
Did you always know that when you first started business, or as you've gotten older?
No, you develop over time.
For sure.
You think success is things in the beginning, and then you realize, like, you know.
This is my take. I think when you first start off, and like say you have a situation you're not happy with, I think it's important to be selfish. Not in a bad way though. You should be selfish with your time. You shouldn't be at the bars on weekends when you work at a job you're not happy with, or you're in a situation you're not. So before you try to pay off your mom's house, of course you physically can't do that. But you should be selfish enough to, like, you know what? I need to start declining all these invites I'm getting. I need to lock in and fix my situation first before I can help anybody else. What's your take on that?
My take on it is very simple. In the beginning, I'm locking in. I'm not getting distracted. I have tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? The sheik is not being seen. You know, it's away. You know what I'm saying? I'm locked in. I want to just focus on my goals.
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to distract me. Any negative people, they cannot come too close. Negative. They must be set aside. They must be blocked.
Sticky energy, bro.
Negative energy. People that are not goal oriented. There are people moving through this world that they're consumption-based people. Their life revolves around what they can consume. What they can consume that's their driving force.
Right.
That's not who I am.
That next dopamine hit.
Yeah, it's not who I am, bro. And that's fine. I'm not judging them for it, but that's not who I have to be.
Question: do you think anybody can train themselves to delay gratification? Because that's what it takes.
I used to think like it's a real interesting thing, right? Like I used to think that people just thought about things like this. They don't. I've asked certain people like, "Do you ever self-reflect?" They're like, "No." Like I've asked.
Without hesitation.
Yeah. They were like straight up no. I'm like, you never self-reflected? Like, no. I'm like, have you ever just turned off all things and just sat in your car, your office, your home, your room, your basement, and just thought about your life, thought about who you are, thought about what your goals are? No. And you know what? That is what it is. So you have to understand what kind of person you're dealing with. Finding an organization and people that are attached to, that's not an easy thing to do, bro.
Right. I mean, you could take it to relationships, right? Like in the Bible, maybe in the Quran too, is like you find a wife. It says find. It doesn't say just pick one, because the dating pool is not a bunch of wives or husbands in there. Same thing with business.
That's an interesting word to use. Find. You do have to find. Yeah, you have to find the correct person, correct organization, correct situation for yourself.
Right.
Let's be clear here. I love steak. I enjoy a good cigar. I like a nice car. I like like all of these things I enjoy. I'm not acting higher than thou. I enjoy all of these things. My point is they don't define me.
Right.
I didn't have those things starting off and I worked just as hard.
Wow.
So they don't define me.
That's a great point.
You know?
Because honestly, if it did, I'm sure you just take your foot off the gas and then.
If it did, I wouldn't be here.
Ooh.
If all these things defined me when I didn't have them, I wouldn't be here.
Wow.
They didn't define me, so because they didn't define me, I didn't worry about whether I had them or not. You understand?
Great point.
So that's life.
Yeah.
Look, I know who I am, and I think in life you should know who you are. And as long as you know who you are, you know what you can do. And if you know what you can do, no matter what happens, you're gonna be all right.
Yeah.
You understand? But for those of you that don't know who you are, figure that out. Before you do all of this, I think there's one step that we missed on this list.
Yeah.
And this was the 10th one that I was looking for, by the way.
That's it.
So look at God.
Doing,
So the 10th thing, before you start all of this, you should really ask yourself a key question. Who is it that I want to be? Ask yourself that question. Who do you want to be? Who is it that you want to be in life? Do you want to be somebody that you make yourself proud? Do you want to be somebody that you look back at your life in 10 years and say, man, I really love that guy. I respect the person that I was 10 years ago. Is that the person you want to be? Or do you want to look 10 years in the future? 10-year-old older version of you. You look back at the 10 years younger, yourself, looking back at yourself and saying, I don't respect that guy. That guy's bullshit. That guy, he wasted his time. And because he wasted his time, I am who I am now. Or do you want to look back at that guy and say, that motherfucker's a real one?
You know, I was just having that thought today, bro.
He's the sheik. You understand what I'm saying? He's a real one because he made decisions that were hard. He did it not because of the gratification, not because of the accolade, not because of the things. He did it because it needed to be done.
What's the Kennedy line? We do things not because they're easy, but because they're hard.
They're necessary.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. So that's your first one. You need to ask yourself, are you going to respect that person from 10 years ago? First, forget about your list. Your homework, ladies and gentlemen, is not this list. Your homework is to ask yourself a very important question. Who do I want to be in 10 years? Do I want to respect this person in 10 years, or do I want to look back and be like, bullshit? I'm gonna smoke to that.
I let that breathe, man. That's a good one. That's so true.
Honestly, that's an interesting way to look at it, right?
Yeah. But to people that's like not even self-reflecting, of course they're like.
You can't make people be what they're not.
Yeah, can't change people.
Yeah, they are who they are. What you can do is you can point out something maybe that they didn't think of. Some people, you point it out to them and they're like, damn, I never thought about that. And some people
That's
you point...
That's intellect.
That's intellect.
Yeah.
And sometimes you point it out to them and be like, this person thinks they're better than me. Okay.
It happens, huh?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So much every time, man. Every episode, bro.
Yeah. Me too. I think it's important that you define your deals, but I think before you define your deals, you have to define yourself. I'm so glad we came here. Thank God. Thank you, God, for bringing that to me. I think it's important that you bring that to the forefront of your deals. If you want to be an investor, if you want to change your life. By the way, this podcast, let me take a step back. This podcast is sponsored by swagtex.com. If you're interested in building your brand, if you're serious about your company, if you look around and you look at your staff and you think, man, this is an unprofessional group of people. If you want to project who your company is, first impressions matter. If you walk into a property, if you walk into a home and you don't look the part, people won't treat you as the part. If you're not promoting your brand, nobody will care about it. Marketing, brand development. If you're interested in those things, if you need uniform services, if you're looking for promotional products, I implore you, swagtex.com, ask for David. Going back to what I was saying, what was I saying before that? Welcome back. If you get value from what it is that we're doing, if you enjoy hearing Kareem and I speak about real estate, life, if you're enjoying this content, I need you to give us a like, all right? If you're really, really looking to become an investor, I want you to get in contact with us, DM us, send us a message. Stop worrying about whether or not you're gonna get a response. If you're worried about a rejection, you're in the wrong business anyways. You probably shouldn't even reach out.
That's the first thing I learned myself.
Yeah, forget about all that rejection shit. That's for other people, right? But if you're a serious person and you want to get into the business or you want to connect, DM us, reach out to us. But most importantly, support us. Give us a like, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Show us that you're enjoying the content, you find value in the content, and you're taking things away that are good life lessons for you.
Let's keep it all authentic. If you don't like it, drop a dislike.
Yeah.
Leave a comment.
Yeah.
We keep it real, bro.
Absolutely. Both of you are equally important, by the way. We value both sides of the conversation.
Absolutely, man.
All right.
Reach out to me at Care Direct LLC. Let's do some deals together, man. There's a lot of money to be made out there. Ohio, New Jersey, Philly. Let's do some deals. Whether you're bringing a lead to me, if you have a buyer, let's work. I'm always working. And we're jumping on here to kind of give perspective and to teach new ideas for people that might be new for them. But we're always working in the field, bro.
If you heard something in this podcast that really hit home, you should share it. You should send it to that family member that needs it, right? Like, send it to them. Now, type in what part of this podcast that really hit home for you. What is the area that you felt like, damn, you hit me in the heart with that one? Put it in the comments. I want to know. And I also would like you to share it. All right? So thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my brother.
Likewise, brother.
For always coming through and being the amazing partner that he is. Thank you for Phil, for being behind the scenes and really doing what he does. I don't want to give him too much credit. He's going to get a big head.
Where can people find you?
They can find me on YouTube, right? Broner Market Homes. They can find me on Instagram, Sinan_Easmael, Easmael, Sinan, right? On IG. They can find me on Twitter, find me on Facebook. I'm everywhere, bro. Yeah.
Awesome.
But you can find me here every week, bro. This is a scheduled podcast.
Yeah.
Phil, you can find us here on Saturdays at 12 o'clock every week, consistently every week when we put out these podcasts. If you're locking in and you're looking to take away some real knowledge on the game, develop a great relationship, some good group of people, very good group of people, to be honest, this is the place to do it. Lock in, and hopefully one day you'll be having a cigar with us. All right?
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching.